Their only real single target is Morph. Bloodseeker does no damage to a single target that stands still, and Luna is a spread damage carry. So this Medusa with a couple of items is just going to stand there, get Solar Crested, and hit stuff. And as Gambit, you're going to have to try to find a way of piercing this defense that Secret will have. So I find myself in this similar spot to the last game where I think Gambit need to come out of the lanes really well and start rolling. But only this time it's going to be harder for them to find the moves. So I'm excited to see Lorn of Morph, though. I agree with Jenkins on that. I really share that sentiment. This hero
the fact that he's going against a Medusa and he already builds Diffusal apparently on him, wow, right into their traps they're in. But like I look at this lineup for Gambit, you're right. It's a lot more difficult to probably execute in the mid to late game, but I see a lot of pub potential here, right? Obviously, they don't have a whole lot of stuns, which is their biggest issue, but you obviously have the Morphling. Once you get Ags, you can turn into Dark Willow for the Shadow Realm as Afterlife taking a buttload of damage there in the top lane. But in addition, you Blood Rage the Morphling for attack speed with the Shadow Realm.
True.
You have Terrorize into Rupture. You get the Ags, double Fear, double Rupture Sinner. Just think of how good that is.
You know what the best lineup in Dota is?
What's that? It's Lone Druid?
No, it's Warlock, Echo. It's Warlock, Shaker, Darkseer. You vacuum 5-man Fatal Bonds, and then you Echo Slam 5 heroes, and they all die. It is so good.
I love that lineup.
Yep.
It works so often.
Just do that, Gambit. Just hit all your spells that are difficult to combo onto a world-class team, and then you're good. So don't worry about it.
They're going to do just fine, Cinder, and you'll see. Okay?
Decent pressure coming out on Matsu here. He's going to be forced to use his Salve. Still sitting on level 1. Interesting that Puppy got level 2 first. I wonder if he found a D ward here or something like that to get that experience.
What do you think of the nerfs to Medusa in the last patch? So the Aghanim's got a bit of a retouch there. I think slightly lower stun duration. The talents were worked around a bit. I think that's the biggest difference was the 15
easily
became the 20 talent, and they didn't even change the numbers.
It was actually one of the heroes that got nerfed the hardest, in my opinion, just because you moved Medusa's insane timing by 5 levels.
Right.
And even if you get both of the same talents, they're still worse because the cooldown reduction for the Snake is now 1.5 instead of 3, I believe. It's 1.5 on level 15 instead of 3. Oh, Puppy is mangoing it up.
Yep, he sure is.
He is hungry.
Well, Emergent.
Have you ever eaten 3 mangoes in 5 seconds in real life?
No, that
sounds... It's really hard. But if you do it, you get magical powers. So it's actually not surprising that he could cast spells.
I bet Ice Frog is done.
I have tried. I had to throw up after 1.5.
Thank you, Cinder.
But I did do it in 3 seconds, though. So it did.
So you technically ate 1.5 in 3 seconds?
It did make Reddit front page, yes.
Okay, that's great to hear. I'm glad we're talking about that at the beginning of the game when the laning stage is happening. I mean,
we haven't cast
that's true. We haven't cast in a while. We haven't gone off on tangents. Maybe you could hold that for big team fights, and then as I'm about to call the team fight, you start talking about your Mango experience.
No, the thing is, Shannon, since we haven't cast together for a very long time, I'm kind of getting adjusted again, and I'm trying to speak your language. So I was thinking,
I was being a good boy.
If I talk about food and eating fast, I was like,
that's true.
That's your wheelhouse. You love it.
That is true.
You bring up obesity as the intro. It's every game so far. It's 2 out of 2.
Right, I'm going to stop doing that, I promise.
Okay.
This game does not count, though.
Okay. That makes no sense.
By the way, you're enabling me. As Lauren, I was going to take a lot of damage from Nisha. Does have the Fairy Fire available, so still some ways to abuse the Morphling mechanics, as it were. Of course, he does have the Water Runes coming up soon. Great taunt from the Luna, by the way. That is the... I think you had to get like level 600 something to get that taunt.
Yeah, it was as a... How was it? This taunt was like a joke, right? And then they put it in as the highest taunt you could get.
All right, we're not... Okay, I will go off on this tangent here in just a moment. It's BZZ getting pressured out of lane for now. But, oh, perfect, thank you. The players they know that a tangent is coming.
They heard the Mango story. They needed a break.
This is what happens, okay?
Okay.
So they had this taunt, this cat taunt for Luna originally, and then for some reason they deleted it, right?
Because
that was like 5 years ago.
I think it was considered too bad.
Right. So 5 years ago. Then I came out with a taunt tier list, okay? And I had all the taunts ranked, and then the bonus taunt was actually the Luna one. I'm like, if they put this in, they're going to break next year's TI. And lo and behold, the next TI, they put it in, and I did not get a commission. I'm still emailing Valve every week. Understand what happened there. It's obviously some miscommunication. They maybe don't have my email address or something like that. Perhaps it's going to their spam folder, which probably is the case, in fact. But yeah, it's a great... I would put it as the #1 taunt in the game, actually, because it is so bad it's good.
So you're saying No Tail is Gaben?
Because he doesn't check his email?
Just like them, yeah. Nobody reads emails nowadays.
It's too
Actually,
soon.
no. So the thing you got to do is you got to tweet. Tweets always get a response. So you should tweet at Valve for the world to see Valve pay me money for something that you made. And then the world will be
That'll
like,
go
yes,
well.
yes.
I will continue to not get invited to TI after that. So no change.
There you go.
Perfect, perfect. Talk to me about this Treant Protector pick. This was a first 2 pick there.
Overall first pick.
First pick overall.
Number 1 first pick.
Yeah, that's very strange.
I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan of picking this hero that early. I feel like it's relatively one-dimensional. A lot of the other supports that you will see picked earlier have more like flexibility. Like you see, what was it, Secret first picked in this game as their support. Their first 2 were, was it Timbersaw Windranger, right? So they had this Windranger who can both be a core and a support, can play in different ways, different itemization. I feel like Treant is pretty, there's just not that much room to, not that much room for variety, right? You're playing 4 or 5. Either case, you're relatively limited on how much farm you're going to find. You're very defined in the way you play lanes. And I think Treant's biggest weakness as a laner is just Quelling Blade. Like, the fact that literally any hero can buy Quelling Blade, which is cheaper and cheaper every patch at this point, can just start cutting trees, and you use tangos all the time. If Treant can't attack from the trees, he's just not a strong laner. He's slow. Sure, he has good damage, but you can't reach anyone. Right. Then what does it matter? And when you overall first pick it, you make yourself very susceptible to natural counters like the Timbersaw, right? Or something like Bat Rider. Or so I like Treant as a hero when it gets picked late, but the meta right now is often you pick your supports early. So
right. Well, what do you think about the... I mean, in terms of the lineup itself, they're lacking stun big time, right?
Right.
You have Adaptive Strike, which technically is a stun. You have a mini stun on Lucent Beam, but everything else, for the most part, is just roots. Terrorize, I guess you can consider a pseudo stun, but no actual just set, single target stun or AoE stun that will help. I mean, Treant Protector has to be in an amazing position for them to set up anything, pretty much. But I mean, in theory, if they can get the spells up, like you said, they do have good combos. Right,
except they don't want to terrorize on Overgrowth because then the heroes aren't running.
Right.
So if they want to combo that with Rupture, there's like a little bit of an anti-synergy in their lineup where things need to really come together well. But I think the main games that Treant thrives in my opinion, are the ones where the enemy team has very bad pushing power and he could defend the tower forever, which is actually the biggest upside for me in this game for Treant is Secret's tower damage is pretty bad. Timbersaw will usually get the tower at, like, say, 5, 7, 8 minutes or whatever by just brute force.
Great line.
But if you keep living armoring that tower, it takes really long for Zai. So that's a good upside. I like Treant for that part. And I like him when there's a natural synergy with Overgrowth, like Phoenix, right? Where you Overgrowth and you cast Supernova or something like that. Or if it's great
it's basically Bloodright and Eclipse, right?
Yeah, and it is good, but the problem is, again, the matchup that you're facing, right? You have a Void Spirit who's a very mobile hero. He can buy a Eul's and get out of your combo pretty much scot-free. Or you can buy Force Staffs to counter this. And the enemy 2 cores, both Medusa and Timbersaw, can probably just tank through everything. So you really, really need to make sure Morphling has a good game. And like you said, give him Blood Rage, give him Ags, turn into Willow, and hope that single target damage burst can really get the job done.
I mean, that is a huge turning point of the game when he does get that Aghanim Scepter. Because I mean, that Jenkins was talking about, I think that now that Earthshaker has been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed this combo with the Morphling, this is the best combo by far. Like Dark Willow, Shadow Realm is insane. Blood Rage on top, like, what do you do against it? I mean, it's all single target damage technically, but you do it from afar. You have ridiculous amounts of damage from Morphling already on top of the Shadow Realm. So they technically do have answers to kill Medusa. And like stuns maybe aren't even the best thing against Medusa anyway because she's so slow. She's like a siege tank. So as long as you have like that diffusal on top of the Ags, which I assume he's going to go for, in theory, they have ways to kill her. But that's considering that the game is maybe even at that point, which is a big if.
Yeah. That is a really big if. And again, the challenge for Gambit in this game is going to be weathering the storm, right? Staying alive, not losing the map like they did in the previous game. And the good news is they will not lose the map as fast because nobody really takes the map as quick as a Brood that has that kind of a start.
True.
I would love to see them really put so much emphasis on not losing towers. I think if they can hold that off and hit their timing and then hopefully overpower Medusa, that is the win condition that I see for them. But it never feels good to have a very defensive lineup against Medusa, right? You know this is going to be a free farm Medusa. Like, we might as well say it right now, right? I just don't see the Radiant lineup preventing that from happening. So they need to believe in their ability to control the later portion of the game and being able to beat a farm Medusa.
Yep, and I mean, once you get to that point, though, then you technically do have building damage, right? Medusa will start to be able to be unkillable and just hit building. And then you have Timbersaw probably with that shard, right? Be able to...
For sure.
Whatever the hell that thing's called. Flamethrower? Something?
I think it's Flamethrower. Yeah, Secret's damage really kicks in, or tower damage really kicks in at that 20-minute mark. That plus Medusa with 2 items can really start getting the job done, but... It does feel like this game is going to be more controlled. I think Gambit will feel less lost, but I think it's going to be really challenging. But they're not going to get run over like the last game. That would be a bit surprising if it goes that one-sided. I might have sounded like that when I talked about the game from the beginning, that I'm worried about them. But it's not because I think they're going to get rolled in 20 minutes. It's because I'm not sure if they can reach their timing in the game where they're stronger. Right. That when their heroes are strong, are they stronger or not?
Right. Yeah, only time will tell. Of course, we talked about this last game, but Gambit have 2 stand-ins, so really no idea what to expect in terms of the actual chemistry between the players, which, you know, could be a benefit, but last game, obviously not so much. I mean, I think it was the right decision to ban the Brood, though. It's just this hero that, like, even if you think that you can counter it, it feels like that is just not the best way to go when you're, especially with like a newer lineup. You don't know each other as well. You're playing against the Brood, it just changes the whole game. That's the issue with the hero. It's always been like that.
Yeah, and then when Secret couldn't get that, they got the Timbersaw, which is also a hero that just changed the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 bans each first phase. Like that was probably one of the biggest changes that a lot of people didn't talk about when that first became a thing. Was that 2.8 or 2.9 that they did that?
I don't remember.
Either way, like that is a giant change. So because there's always going to be these overpowered heroes. I mean, that's the whole beauty of Dota, is that every hero is overpowered in their own. Well, except for Chen, of course. I think we established that. But I don't think there's a scenario that exists that Chen is good.
He is overpowered too. He has a really good ability to lower team morale. He's actually the most overpowered hero for making your team give up minute 10.
It depends on the perspective, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, Pudge can be pretty demoralizing, but his shard makes him like legitimately amazing.
Okay, real talk. What do you think Pudge's win rate would be in pubs in Divine Plus if he was not picked for grief ever? If it was only picked by players that thought the hero was good, did their best, and wanted to win, and not because, oh, you took my role, now I'm playing Pudge. What do you think his win rate?
Probably like 55 up. Yeah. I think it would be actually really good.
That would be pretty good, right?
Because a lot of it is the mental aspect of it. You pick this hero, and a lot of people just give up, right? Yeah. Which I don't know what the win rate is right now.
On both teams.
It's not like the win rate is abysmal. Like maybe it's 45%, but that's not like
I think it's
the worst ever.
I think it's even a bit higher than that. I think it's like 48.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
So, but when you factor in how many times a hero like that gets picked, where it's not for the sole purpose of this, I think this is the best hero or the best pick here, or I am really good with this hero.
You pick my role, I pick Pudge.
Yeah,
that's what that hero has become in a lot of ways.
That feels like 10% of his games at least.
I mean, I can understand that to a certain degree because you know you play Pudge. Yeah, you might lose, but you're gonna have fun losing, right? It's one of the few heroes. Like I'm sure I don't know what it. I take pride in this. I've never played techies in my entire life.
I think Chen is really fun too when you're losing.
that is. I mean, you get. I mean, depends on your perspective. You have a bunch of creeps that you can talk with because nobody on your team wants. They probably muted you at that point. So
no, the thing that's fun about Chen is the suspense of can I take this creep or not, because you don't know how Holy Persuasion works anymore. So go into the jungle, you're like, can't take this one. Oh man, oh no, that was level 4 now. Okay, I guess I need level 3. Then you go and take that one. Oh, I want the other one. Oh, that needs level 5. So
and
now I need to get more level.
And then there's Enchantress who's just busted, right?
And then Enchantress shows up and Chen's like, how is this fair?
But it feels like Chen has had his time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had his time.
I'm not complaining that Chen isn't broken. There are 2 heroes in Dota that there's actually more, but there's a couple of heroes that I'm really happy when they're not broken. Chen is one of them. Io.
Okay, who else? Give me the whole list.
Io has been good for so long, so it's nice when.
Can you guess my list?
Lion. No. You hate mana drain.
Okay, I mean that's true, but I seem to win every game against Lion, so it doesn't really matter.
Your list is Arc Warden, Tinker, Techies.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Arc Warden especially. I absolutely hate the hero. We're back into the game. Beautiful. What is that spray paint? My goodness. They added that's quite the blue border.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Looking at the CS right now, Luna 25-2 and Medusa 20-6. So Luna off to a pretty good start overall, pressuring Zai right now. Of course, Zai pretty freaking tanky now that he's level 3. And I mean, you talked about this before. I just can't see them killing him. Like they have like in the laning stage, I mean, because Bloodseeker is good against Timbersaw. That's pretty much the reason they picked this hero.
When he has to move.
Right.
That's the
thing. You're in this lane. That's kind of the issue right now. So laning stage is kind of free for Zai, I feel like.
Yeah. Similar to last game, though, the lanes are going relatively evenly, right? Nisha with a slight advantage in the mid lane once again, which I think similar to, it's pretty much the exact same as last game. They're both farming. Nisha has like a little minor advantage, but it's basically irrelevant. So again, it's going to be what happens in the next 10 minutes. Last game, Secret completely took over the game in the next 10 minutes. I think this time they're not going to be able to do so, but there's going to be slowly building up toward a very big Medusa, and they're going to wait for Timbersaw to hit maybe a Hood +1 item. and then possibly start grouping up for something. They also won't kill Roche this game that easily. There's definitely some things that Secret had last game that enable them to snowball that will not come into play here.
I mean, it's just a different lineup, right?
Yeah, it's very different.
It's a safe lineup, but it's not something that's going to destroy you right away.
Yeah.
Medusa does need to get farmed, but there's really, like, it feels like a free game. Like, once they get into that triangle and she's able to take out these stacks, it's going to be a pretty freaking good game for Matu. Afterlife with the early urn available to go. Obviously going to be going for, I assume, Spirit Vessel for the Timber Saw at some point. Now,
it's an option, yeah.
What do you think of, like, when you buy an urn or a Spirit Vessel for Timber Saw, how early do you want it? Like, is it game dependent, or is it kind of like you just need to get it immediately?
I actually am of the opinion that Spirit Vessel is often a trap, actually. Oh, let's see. Uh-oh. He's...
Yeah, Leech Seed.
So the thing about Spirit Vessel is that a lot of the heroes that you buy it against naturally want to buy an item that counters it, right? Like, let's say you buy Vessel against Timber. How long is your timing window? Timber wants...
Or he gets Lotus.
He wants Lotus or Euros in a lot of games. Oh, good kill on Puppy here. That will be first blood.
Yep. Afterlife takes that for himself, and he's buffed up pretty nicely here. Matu getting chased under the tier 1. No, they're going to stop in their tracks.
It looked promising, but Matu had Mana Shield level 1, which means he has 5,000 EHP. So almost got him, but it could have worked.
I mean, I'm actually interested. I never thought I'd say that. I'm interested to see the differences now with with Medusa now that she was kind of nerfed, because the 15 versus 20 level is such a giant change in theory, but in practice I have yet to see it. So, or at least not in a pro game. Yeah, the 35% Mystic Snake mana gain used to be literally the same thing at 15, so that's the big difference.
And then the 1.5 Mystic Snake cooldown
was
used to be 3 at level 20.
Yeah.
So it's just flat out worse. But I think
do you think those changes? Do you still get an Ags? I assume. Like,
I'm not sure if you go the Ags build. I don't think it was obviously the flavor of the month, right? Oh, good damage.
No blood right. Matu extremely low.
He is
TP support from
actually dying.
Yapzor. And the right clicks will be enough. Power shot not really going to do too much, so early kill on Medusa.
Great kill to get for Afterlife. Currently, top 3 net worth are all on Gambit, so off to a great start this time around. Similar time last game is when they were about to lose their top tier 1 tower and get 2k gold behind. So off to a much harder start here, and I'm especially impressed with how well the Luna is doing against this Timbersaw. Not because it's like a very Timbersaw favored lane, but because
as you say that, Zai does hit 6. Careful, Caster Curse, young man. Oh, top lane though. Afterlife chasing after Yapzor. He's going to get vision here. One more right click will be enough. He does find it. Puppy just a little bit too late there. And this off lane for
going
Gambit.
Really well.
Very well.
Yeah.
Right, Dragon Lance is going to be the first item for the Luna here. But Zai is level 6, so the kill potential is technically there, and the tree doesn't have overgrowth as of yet.
Yep.
So still working on that XP.
So Luna will go for a build that does not currently have Eclipse. It's pretty common to see Lunas entirely bypass it sometimes and just go full-on farm so that when they transition into the jungle, they have the highest efficiency. He is getting a couple of value levels in Beam, I think, in order primarily to secure range creeps in this lane. And we'll probably not see him level Beam anymore. He's probably going to max Aura and Glaives and just farm jungle. But there is a possibility if you go these 2 in Beam that you can transition into an Eclipse build if... Like, let's imagine they want to pull together that Wombo combo relatively early with Overgrowth, Terrorize, and Eclipse. There is the possibility of doing it, and obviously enables Bloodseeker to find kills where, you know, you rupture someone and we're talking about, well, what if they just don't move? Eclipse can make you move if there's no creeps around.
Yep, that's true.
So there is that option, but I still think we're going to just see the farming route. I think Gambit might feel relatively confident that as long as they're farming both Morph and Luna, that could overpower Medusa.
Yeah, Lorinov level 9 right now. Of course, he is playing the mid role as Bramble is placed down, but Matu will be able to maneuver himself away.
Loving this from Lorinov, by the way. This is one of the biggest strengths of Morphling is obviously, we talked about the tanking of Secrets heroes, right? Killing Morphling for Secrets lineup is insanely difficult. Like, they have no immediate silence, they have no instant stuns, they don't have significant bursts. So what's he going to do? He's stealing Medusa stacks. What are you going to do about it?
This is huge.
He's the mid hero just in the enemy jungle minute 10. He got a lot of...
Shackle shot into nothing.
No cigar.
Yeah. Oh, Nisha actually jumps in.
There's the cigar!
That's a beautiful cigar indeed. Rupture is placed upon him, and they're just going to focus him down now. Looks like they'll find it pretty easily, so a little bit too deep for Nisha.
There's a life lesson for you. Don't smoke. Like, Bad cigar, you just get killed off right. Not smoke it to Z-Chan. That would have been cool though. But
Thank you,
yeah,
Cinder.
you're welcome. I have to explain the joke to you. You're not very smart.
That's not very nice to say. Cinder. People might think that you don't like me.
I don't understand social cues.
Is that making fun of chat or me? Or you? Making fun of yourself, perhaps.
See, that's what makes a good joke, is that you don't know who's getting insulted.
You know, I love talking about jokes that fail horribly and just bringing them up over and over again. So we're going to continue to do that here. Zai cutting the wave a bit here as the siege is alive and well. So
only level 1 living armor, by the way. So this is a possible tower take for Zai. I would love to see Gambit actually defend here. I think a lot of the time you just let this tower go. But I think they can hold it.
They're trading for now. They're going to find, pretty easy kill on BZZ and... I think with that, they're just going to end up trading the tier 1s.
Do you want to call him the rest of the game?
No, I think we might get some Reddit threads discussing how inappropriate that is.
Why?
Because bees are endangered in certain regions of the world.
Is this beeist?
Oh, God. Please, no more puns. Cinder, can you just...
That's not a pun.
Can you tone...
That's not a pun, that's a word.
All right, it's no more words from you.
Now it's okay.
No more words from you. I think you've had too much caffeine, perhaps. Maybe I should take whatever you're drinking.
They spiked my water.
That's not very fun.
They put caffeine in my water.
The caffeinated water is a beautiful thing. Americans know all about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right, well, Matu...
I realized my choice of words there wasn't very good. I meant with caffeine, Chen.
Yeah, I understand that, Cinder.
I had to explain it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
That's fine.
All right, Afterlife. I'm interested to see what he buys here. So it is the Atos. So he doesn't go for the Spirit Vessel right away. So Atos for a little bit of catch. I mean, we talked about their lack of stun, so that's a nice catch overall.
I forgot to finish off my thought about Vessel from 7 minutes ago. We might get back to that in a second. Let's see if Luna is going to get out. Yep, she will. So the reason I find Vessel to often be a trap is that the heroes you want to buy it against are these heroes that really rely on their region, right? Like, let's say Alchemist or Timbersaw or whatever. But most of these heroes actually have a built-in way or a desire to buy an item that counters Vessel anyway. Let's say Timbersaw, he wants to get Lotus or Yules. Alchemist has his ult that just dispels it, or he could buy the shard as well nowadays. So there's different ways. I find the urn to be really valuable a lot of the time just because it's like you get it so early and it has such a high impact, but the build up to Vessel is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And once you complete that Vessel with the extra 2k gold, the heroes that usually buy it will get overtaken by the timing of the other defensive item. Or maybe you have a time window,
so
but
you're saying
it's
that Spirit Vessel is just not a good item? I'm
not saying that.
That's what you're saying.
I'm saying I feel like it gets bought, like, it used to be bought a lot and be really successful, but I think nowadays the timing window that you have with it feels a little bit too short to me.
I see.
Even against a hero like Morphling, right? Like, you love to buy Vessel in the past. What does Morphling do? He buys first item Manta. And he gets the Manta when you get the Vessel, and he doesn't feel bad about it because he's like, well,
so what
just
you're
bought
saying
a Vessel.
is they need to revert their change of their reverted change with the passive component to the health minus region.
I don't like the passive component.
Is there anything that you do like, Cinderin?
I like food.
Okay, I'm glad.
Good food.
Not you're baiting me again. It just no more, please.
You asked honest answer. It was an honest answer.
No, that's true. You like appetizers, actually. That's something I
really do.
Noticed.
I have not had onion rings in a while, actually.
I don't know if they have that here, but it's a little too American.
Can we get
anything that's just mega fried?
I'd like to order an onion ring tower to the caster booth, please.
All right, we have a Shackle onto the creep, along with the Dark Willow. Gets into the Shadow Realm. There's a Nisha Rupture into the Blood Right. Looks like he... Oh, Stone Gaze will be popped. Aether Remnant does catch him, and they finally finish him off with Lorna coming in as that Morphling. So it's a 1-for-1 support for mid. Shackle Shot does connect. See if they can get out of here, does Gambit. Whirling Death. Zai might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's completely surrounded. Overgrowth's going to be used, and the right clicks of Lorna doing so much damage into the waveform. He is on a killing spree. 6-2 advantage for Gambit. I mean, we talked about how they had to get off to a decent start, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Gambit's playing great this game. I'm really impressed. Like, it's clear from the draft that both teams have like limited playmaking potentials, and we talked a lot about it from Gambit's perspective that they won't be able to find very many moves, but they're actually really on the front foot this game. They've found multiple setups with the Bloodseeker. I think this is the second or even third kill. I think it's the second kill on the Void Spirit. Yeah, so they killed him twice with Rupture into the Bloodright combo and just him being unable to disengage. And Secret, obviously, if this Void Spirit is not active, they have a similar problem, right? Like, they don't have much catch either. So both teams with a little bit of a passive approach, but Gambit definitely getting off to a much, much better start here. It's looking very promising. And Larnaf Morph, just signature hero, really popping off this game.
Yeah, what are his items right now? Let's take a gander here.
Yeah, so he is planning on going Manta first.
Okay.
It could turn into a Diffusal follow-up, I think. So the risk with buying Diffusal as the absolute first item is that if you don't find very good fights immediately, you lose out on farm, right? It's not a very farm-efficient item.
Oh, I see a Shackle counter initiation into the Focus Fire. Afterlife's in a lot of trouble, and Zai will help finish off the poor Bloodseeker.
It's a big kill.
A lot of rotation here from Secret as well.
It didn't work the third time in a row.
Yeah, I assume Nisha at some point will be going for the Agnum Scepter, so Manta will be very good against the Silence as well.
It's also against this Vessel, right? This is exactly what I talked about. We're actually seeing the whole theory in play right now. Void Spirit, you got the Vessel. He is going to have 0 Vessel uses on a Morph that doesn't have Manta. It's already countered, right? So, and that does not mean that the Vessel is bad and not going to have any impact in this game, but it means that a really big part of the appeal is taken away, because now you need to bait the Manta first.
Which, in all fairness, isn't that hard.
It's definitely, well, their heroes aren't the best at doing it, right? Like, what do they have? They have Frostbite that he needs to Manta. There's nothing else, really. There's no, like, strong silence.
An incoming Shackle that you can dodge.
Sure.
Right? If you're fast enough.
Absolutely. But then you dodge that Shackle and wait for him out.
And then eventually the Ags on, the Void Spirit.
That is the timing, for sure.
Well, we'll see a smoke here from Gambit. See if they can find another kill. I mean, we talked about how well the Gambit are doing, and all of a sudden, I mean, not that the net worth is everything to look at, but it's back to essentially even when they had a slight advantage.
Right.
So Seeker just taking better use of the map right now. I mean, it is a Medusa, of course, and there's only so many stacks you can take from her. It's just a matter of time that she'll find that farm. And she does have the Manta and going for Scotty's second item.
Just to finally wrap up on the Vessel, so
For
we
God's
never talk
sake,
about
will
it.
you stop talking about the Spirit Vessel?
So I think it's also important to not just only focus on the hero where you counter the region, right? Like, it's still a damage item. It's good against other heroes. So, like, yeah, the Morph is buying a Manta, but you can still Vessel the Bloodseeker, you can Vessel the Treant, Willow, whatever you go on. And that extra bit of damage does go a long way in the Void Spirit. So it's not like it's going to be total garbage, but, you know, you have to compare it to, we could have had a faster Ags, could have had a Yules maybe, or whatever we wanted against this other team's lineup. We'll see if it pays off. I'm leaning toward Ags probably having been a better choice, just because of, like the panel talked about, the ability for Secret to fight as 4 while Medusa farms, I think is riding a lot on this Aghanim Scepter really packing a punch. They're going to try here. I don't think they're going to get anywhere close to pressuring Lauren off, and they won't.
Yeah, Terrorize being primed as well.
Yeah.
The fact that you can cancel that, I feel like, is weird. You know, the Terrorize. The fact that you can see everything, you can hear it, you can see the ground animation before it even goes off.
I think if you couldn't cancel it, it should be his Talent.
Oh, we're going to see the Eclipse popped.
Defensive Eclipse.
Yeah, looks like that'll save his life here.
It wasn't even that scary. It was a level 1 Eclipse with a level 3 Lucent Beam, so not the worst.
That is a cooldown down for Secret, or for Gambit, I should say. So Zai does have that Lotus Orb now, so no big surprises in terms of the item department here.
Oh. Very, very close to somehow stunning him with a Chakram, so I got excited. All right. Bloodseeker's going to force Nisha back to base.
Oh, look at that. 30 attack speed talent taken from Medusa instead of the Mystic Snake cooldown.
He's not going Ags.
Yeah, so no Ags. That's, I mean,
I like this build. I actually think this is the way you should go as Medusa. You should not take the, like in most cases, probably don't take the Snake cooldown and don't go Ags now. I think this change to the timing and everything just makes this, I think, this build more powerful. Like Manta, Scotty, Butterfly, or Satanic, or whatever you want. Optional Lincolns if it's a game for that. Optional BKB, optional Shard. Shard could be interesting here.
I mean, Shard is good because it refreshes some of your mana, but it's even better with Ags if you end up getting it, right?
It's also
Stone Form.
There's just a couple of good spells here, right, that are going to target you a lot of the time. Like, you're going to get Casual Snake out of the Lucent Beam. You're going to get it out of Adaptive Strike, Rupture.
Yep.
Even, I mean, I don't think you think about Leech Seed, really. I don't think Train is going to use that on Medusa pretty much ever.
And he uses Leech. I'll try to do that in the next fight. Leech Seed is used. Unbelievable. The heal and the slow.
That actually sounds like a pretty funny content piece where you like find the most boring spells and hype them up as much as possible. Like, instead of it's like an insane 5-man black hole.
He uses a Tango. Unbelievable.
Oh, could you imagine casting like that?
I already do, kind of.
Yeah.
I just pick a random here and go with it. Oh, Lornov.
He's on. Oh, boy.
Yeah, waveforms out to safety, and Secret just doesn't have enough right now to take him out.
Missing a little bit.
That was all 5 of them, too, actually.
It looks like a smoke posture from Gambit, but I think they're just going to farm.
Oh, look at this. So it's actually not going to be the Diffusal. It will be the second item.
I like it.
So, okay, do you go Diffusal later? It feels like that's an earlier, you know, game item.
Maybe you do it because of Medusa, but I honestly I don't think so. I think you just pack a punch, right? You just get more damage items, but pose more of a threat.
Yeah, he's about 1,000 away from finishing that bad boy, and then we're going to see the Shadow Realm combo.
Is there a world where you go Octarine just because you're playing with Willow, so that you can turn into it a lot more frequently and have lower cooldowns?
I mean, don't you have a talent for that?
I mean, even if you do, more is good, right?
I think the talent lasts longer is what it is for the Morph.
Yeah, it's not just the Morph, though. I'm thinking about the spells he has while he's Willow, right? That he gets to use Shadow Realm a lot more frequently.
So when you're in that form with Ags on Morphling, you get 400 extra range. Does that also work with Shadow Realm? Like, because it's technically an attack, right? And Shadow Realm already gives you a long-range attack, but it's a 400...
I don't think you get the extra 400.
Range.
I don't think so, but you also don't really need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's already absurd amount, for sure.
And yeah, he did indeed take the 16 morph second morph duration over 15 agility. Yeah, both of those talents are incredible, by the way. Super good option.
We can see Puppey already priming to try to get a Ghost Scepter for himself to try to counteract the right clicks of Morphling. But of course, I mean, after that, what do you go on Morphling? Like, is E-Blade still a thing after that? Because it doesn't really combo exactly with the Shadow Realm, but you can use it as like maybe a finisher.
He could. I wonder, again, I wonder if he's how obsessed he is with countering Medusa, right? Like, I honestly still feel like the Diffusal could be a thing. I don't realize I'm kind of backtracking on it, but I do see a world where that is an item he could buy. If not, I think just like Butterfly.
Right.
I guess. Like
I think we're going to see a smoke here. Yeah, Lorna has double damage. He has an Illusion Rune. He has his Aghanim Scepter.
He is
all good. That's very bad, though. That is... All right, DR pops the BKB. Focus Fire is not really doing too much damage. There's the Eclipse to follow with the Blood Right in addition. They're going to find one. They're going to find two. And just like that, I believe they knew that Morphling had the Aghanim Scepter, and they're just probably going to go for Roche now. This is looking real good.
That was
for Gambit.
I'm honestly...
How did Luna survive?
Making the call there to use BKB on 10% health.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's a very, very good call, because you're getting focus fired, but you have so much armor that like this pitiful focus fire with just a javelin, it does very, very little damage. So he realizes there's enough time to buy to come in for a terrorize, and with that, actually gets the help, gets the 2 kills, they get the Roche, they get the mid-tier 1 in all likelihood here, unless Secret can put up some really incredible defense. Oh, well, that'll start them off.
They do have some chain stuns, but Lorna just shrugs it off as he turns into Dark Willow temporarily.
I'm surprised he isn't just doing that and hitting the tower from 1,000 range instead of meleeing the tower, right? Like you could just play this safe and take it. There's no tower defense on the enemy team except when you're coming close.
This instantly gets full HP. What a great mechanic. Morphling's so hilarious, man.
Yeah.
What a hero.
It just makes me laugh every time.
Hilarious.
You know what? Every time I play against Morphling and Lane, I have a sensible chuckle. I'm like, oh, it's so
at
great.
my level of play, that's not really a thing. So
yeah, at your level of play, people complain about Lion's mana drain. So that's
it is annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
the Lion does lose the game, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just a real tilter. Looks like he's listening in.
Speak of the devil.
Yep, Manta off the Frostbite there, or not Manta. That was just the Illusion Rune.
Yep. But this is something I think teams got really, really much better at 2 years ago. It was one of the biggest changes to Dota, I think, was how much more emphasis teams started putting on defending towers and like allocating resources to like holding this mid tower for Secret right now is so integral that they are willing to park 3 heroes there for the next 5 minutes if they have to. Yeah. As long as Medusa is farming, not losing that tower is so crucial that they know in terms of net worth, like let's say the Morph is solo hitting this mid tower and they're defending it with 3, they might be losing out a bit on farm because the enemy team can be farming jungle or whatnot, but holding that tower is just worth it. Even if you lose 1,000 gold, 1,500 gold, that tower is worth way more.
Yeah, we're going to see an Arcane Rune Morphling as the
nice blink.
Gambit. Yeah, Atos is disjointed there. So we'll likely try to turn this into a tier 1 mid, but that's easier said than done. I mean, Medusa has Manta, Scotty, working towards Butterfly. Went for the evasion talent, I believe, so...
It's going down now.
So we'll Morphling, we'll get the tier 1 tower, but at what point on Morphling do you go for like an MKB? Is that ever a thing? It feels kind of weird to go non-stat items.
I guess it can be kind of cool with Shadow Realm, right?
Yeah, because you don't miss.
Yep. That's kind of what you do MKB for.
Yeah, because Luna is also not really the most typical MKB carrier either.
Right.
I mean, she was a Divine Rapier carrier, but that doesn't have True Strike anymore.
I'm not sure.
She's going Aghanim Scepter. It's SNY BKB Dragonlance Ags. Very interesting.
Yeah, this is a pretty unusual build. I guess what they're thinking is from the Luna's perspective against Medusa, right? Oh, this is a death.
Blood Right
kill.
Fear, Bedlam, everything, and the kitchen sink throne.
Ultra dead.
That's
so,
Nisha.
Like, put yourself in the Luna's shoes. You're playing Luna into Timbersaw, Medusa, and Void Spirit. Like, how realistic is it that you get to right-click a lot in these fights? If you want to output a lot of damage and put a lot of pressure on Medusa, your ulti is actually very, very powerful because
she's basically stationary.
Right. So that is one way of outputting insane, quote-unquote, single target damage. Like, if you place it correctly, this can burst through Medusa's mana shield very effectively. So I kind of like that idea. Oh, that is good.
That is a dead Dark Willow, but Morphling turns into a better Dark Willow, so it's a 1-for-1, not including the death that they already had on the Void Spirit. And look at this, how pitiful the damage is against Lorinov right now. Shadow Realm again, Matu.
Okay,
His mana is getting burned big time as a result of all this damage. Remember, Age is still intact.
Larnoff, this is not a 9k pup. Take it easy, brother. This is not going to work.
I'm sure he'll be fine. There's the Shadow Realm again.
Good pressure, though.
They're going to have a hard time killing him in that form as well.
Eclipse.
Yeah, Eclipse not doing a whole lot. And actually, looks like he might be in some trouble here. Pops the BKB a little bit late, and here comes the Morphling, trying to apply some more pressure. Again, Nisha dies. Nisha basically died right after respawning, and now Matu ruptured. Lorinov looks like he'll expend the Aegis at the very least. Nope, waveform's away. He'll just leave his tree to die instead. So BZZ ends up going down here, but...
All right.
All right. I mean, 3K net worth lead for Gambit. They're looking pretty good. The Luna didn't die despite... I mean, it looked like he was going to. And she's very close to Ag. 1,000 away for her, so that's another power spike for Gambit.
I wonder if Gambit can get strong enough that they can take over.
Enchanted Quiver on Morphling, right? Is that a gimme? What does he have right now? Yeah, this got it.
Yeah, you got it. You take it.
So good. It's 400 damage extra. They're getting everything they want right now. He's going Satanic, too, so a lot tankier. Has a Dispel. Is that even useful against Frostbite? I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Satanic now, is the fact that it dispels and, like to take Lifestealer, for example, a hero that would not really get Satanic in the past. But being able to just ensure that you can get your BKB off your Rage.
Right.
Pretty powerful.
In many situations, they actually replaced BKB as an item for that reason. Yeah. Because on many of the carries in the past, you would buy BKB to counter silences. You could just Satanic it off and just stand your ground. Are they actually getting Nisha for a 4th? Is that 4th or 5th kill on this guy this game? That would be the 5th.
Dodges the fear, but inside the Blood Right still, and still ruptured. Of course, BKB popped by the Luna.
Of course, Lorinov
doesn't have an Eclipse to work with right now, so it looks like he might just drop. And with that, Secret finally with an advantage in a fight here.
Lorinov with the Gork cosplay, no TP. Ooh.
I hope Gork's not watching.
That is not good.
3 dead for Secret, and they're going to punish this by taking this tier 2 tower as well.
That is Gambit's first major mistake of the game. They chose to engage on this Void Spirit, and they've had a great track record, right? But this time around, it was in the other side of the map where Secret have control. They have more heroes placed down here. It's very different making this move at the bottom tier 2 than it is at the top tier 1 area.
Right.
And you couldn't bring your strongest hero. I mean, it's great that you have the outpost, but he's not connecting. A Morph TP there, total different story. I think the move would have worked. I think they would have got maybe 1 or 2 kills and 0 casualties, but that is huge. That equalizes the game. Secret just full-on came back. They got a tier 2. They get access to the enemy outpost, and they're going to retreat probably to just farm their triangle a little bit and wait to contest maybe next Roshan.
Oh my, Wind Ranger. Yaps are going for a Nullifier. This is a position 4, by the way. Blink Maelstrom Nullifier. Very cool. So does Nullifier work against Shadow Realm? How does that work?
No.
It's a constant dispel. You have to do it before. It doesn't work against it if you hit it after.
I don't think so. I don't see. The Shadow Realm is undispellable.
So what are your thoughts on Nullifier then?
Am I making this up? Is that dispellable?
I mean, it sounds right that it's not dispellable.
Cannot be dispelled.
Yeah. I mean, you can't click him once it's activated, obviously. I thought maybe since it's...
Right, I know what you mean. It's decent against living armor here. What else would it counter? The Ewels of Willow.
Yeah, Ewels. There's no Ghost Scepters yet.
That might actually be the primary reason he's buying it, is to be able to catch and kill the Willow on his own. But again, like you said, he could still Shadow Realm dodge, so he's got to catch him off guard.
Plus it feels like if Morphling turns in, if he just uses his ult on Dark Willow, it doesn't even matter anymore.
I feel like I must be overlooking something. Why is Nullifier so good here?
Well, we'll see soon enough. I'm actually interested to see why Nisha is going for Shard very early. I don't know if I've seen that before. As we're going to see the Bramble. BKB popped by Zai, and he's going to... Oh. Looks like he'll be okay here.
Found Afterlife in the meantime. Puppy Yapzor as well as Nisha finding that kill. And Nisha got ruptured.
Nisha ruptured again. What do you think? So the shard, I mean, it looks like he's going BKB first, but shard in order to, like for the dissimulate, you get the extra range. So if you're ruptured, you can get extra distance away. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is just, like there's no game where it's bad, right? It's one of those, it's just a super feels good pickup because you can, you can retreat better, you can play better offensively.
Right.
It just gives you options that you don't usually have on how to play positionings in fights. So I like it. I think he would rather just get it as a Roche kill, right? But I think the writing on the wall right now for Secret is that they're not getting this next Roche unless they find a really good team fight.
I mean, that's the other thing. Roche is not super fast for either team, really.
Right.
They don't have crazy Roche killers. I mean, Morphling hits like a truck, no doubt, but...
Morph is actually pretty fast when he turns into Willow. You saw last time. He had a DD, though, so that's a bit unfair to compare, maybe, but...
Yeah, one of the best DD heroes in the game, for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, though, because you have, like, this Luna who's going more for... It feels like a hybrid build, right? It's going E-Blade. Wow! So it's just committing to the all-magic damage. That's very interesting, especially considering Morphling, for the most part, is doing... Like, I guess it's more of a mix with the Shadow Realm, but a ton of magic damage himself.
Again, I think the logic, it comes back to Medusa, right? Oh, hang on.
First crown into the Bramble. Matu's going to tank up a little bit of that as we hear BKB pop. As Nisha ruptured again, and the Shadow Realm Morphling is destroying him along with Puppy. They're going to find the tree, so it's a 2-for-1 to start things out as a buyback. Now onto the tree and Protector. Zai has the BKB activated, but the right clicks are doing so much work against him. They're going to take him out again with the Shadow Realm from Lorinov. The Satanic keeps him very healthy. Matu has to pop the ult to get himself away. Yapzor will not be so lucky. So a 4-for-1 with the buyback under the tree ant.
God, Lorinov is
Big fight for Gambit.
He's doing so many things right, except that one time he didn't have TP. It's basically been super clean from him. There's a lot of things that are really good there. So first of all, Matu has cooldown on Manta. So when he gets Curse Crowned, which obviously has the extra cast range with the Morph Ags, he is just isolated from the fight. And Lorinov doesn't pursue that kill. He sees something else, immediately goes and snipes out the Void Spirit. He knows he has the mobility and the range to take care of business when he gets ruptured. And just one target to the next to the next. Secret don't have the solutions right now to take out this Morphling.
Who is going MKB now, by the way.
Yep. I like it. Like when you look at how the fights are going right now, he's really unchallenged in the game. And thinking back, they first faced this hero and Secret haven't really solved it. And I was all aboard the Secret train in this game for how I thought it was going to go based on game 1, but Gambit have just... Now that they're not facing a Brood that's just ruining their game, we get to see how they can really play, and this is good stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely looking way better. I mean, would you give them the advantage? Right? I know it's only a 1K net worth lead. Is they're going to get the second Roche, which is the big Roche, obviously.
They definitely have the advantage if they get this one, and they will.
Is, who gets the Shard here?
Shard currently on Luna.
I mean, Luna's is probably better than Morphling, although double adaptive strike is pretty freaking good. He's going to see the Shadow from afar. Matu, very little mana to speak of as he's stuck inside the Bramble now. Zai pops the BKB. They did kill the Dark Willow, and Morphling might be next. He does have the Aegis, though. Luna pops the BKB, and the right clicks looks like they'll be enough, although Matu's very tanky. Finally take him out. And now the chase is on for the rest of Secret. Bloodright won't quite connect. Satanic is popped to be able to take off that Frostbite.
Okay.
So, I mean, they get Medusa, which is huge, but at the very least, Secret does take out the Aegis.
I think given the circumstances, that's a good fight for Secret. This is a bit concerning, though. Morph is going to bottle up a DD.
Yikes.
I wonder how Lorinov died the first time, right? So he got caught by a silence from Void Spirit, but he has 2 dispels. Were they both on cooldown? Did he just panic a little bit? Because that should have been possible for him to get out.
The Satanic was used a little bit later. I think, what's the cooldown of Satanic these days? I feel like it's not that low.
Yeah, it's not. So he definitely had that, I don't know, maybe something else that I missed. Maybe he got stunned by something, but... All right, they're going to try to siege high ground. I like it. They have 40 seconds on Medusa. They have the DD.
They still have cheese. They have Solar Crystal.
Dream.
Oh my goodness. Shackle shot onto 2. He has to pop the cheese to stay alive. And Lorinov is just destroying these structures right now. He's relatively low as Eclipse is put on the backside. Yapzor has to try to wind run away. They're going to dive into the tower now as Nisha pops the BKB to survive. But with that space, they take out an entire set of racks. Very nicely done from Gambit.
Dude, the waveform attacks targets with Satanic is just so disgusting. He just waveforms through a creep wave full HP. Oh my god. Was that what you talked about earlier? Was that when he had the Satanic? I think he only had the lifesteal back then. When you pop Satanic into it, it's just like...
Yeah, it's absurd.
So crazy. All right, 7K lead for Gambit. They take that
The
in.
meme lineup is working. I wouldn't call it a meme, but this does feel like a pub thing where you're like, Morphling, Dark Willow, Bloodseeker,
When I look
no
at
stun.
when I look at drafts and I see an underdog and I feel like this is going to look grim for them and they do well, I'm always happy. Like, I'm always happy to see and be wrong about something like this because, you know, it's easy to write off the underdog team. You feel like they got crushed in game 1 and Secret have a solid idea, but Gambit are just really kicking it up here. They've switched gears, and it's wonderful to see. It gives you hope that they could be able to pull out top 2. Like, getting a draw against Secret is definitely not a bad start. The big challenges also lie ahead. Like, there's two
there's a lot of good teams.
2 Chinese giants. You're facing Nigma as well. And Execration, who a lot of people probably wrote off a little bit, but might also be very surprising. SCA has been looking very good lately. So the global competition right now, I think, is closer than ever.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, before the last major, NA was the only one that was questionable for a lot of people. Well, and South America, I guess, but both turned up in a big way for that major.
Trying to do a bit of Lauren up here.
Shackle, which is reflected into another Shackle. Very nice.
That is one thing that Laurenov doesn't have with his build. He has no status resistance. And a lot of the time on Morph, you will see Morph have an SNY or some sort of other, or they will have a hard dispel or whatever. So if he does get caught by these stuns, he is susceptible to getting burst now that Satanic obviously doesn't have the status resistance component anymore. These Shackle shots do last quite a long time. But
I mean,
as we mentioned, Secret don't have single target burst, right?
At this stage, do you itemize for that still? Like, it feels like getting a Sange into something else is, like, as the last item feels kind of
Nah, I don't think.
I mean, Sange and every component that combines into it has been nerfed like 3-4 patches in a row.
I still like the Butterfly. I think that's still going to give him some decent EHP, right? Like, even if he gets stunned, the evasion, the armor is going to help.
Right.
Against primarily Medusa, it's not that good against the rest, obviously. Windrunner with... does she have any True Strike? She doesn't, right? She only has the Maelstrom, so...
Still working on the Nullifier.
Yeah.
Ooh, Penta Edge Sword. Zai has to pop the BKB as he's found in his own jungle.
Oh.
How dare you be in your own jungle at this stage of the game. Matu did have, obviously, the Butterfly. What is he finishing now? I think he was going for Shard last I checked. Yeah, actually finished the Mjolnir. Very interesting. But the Shard, what do you think of Shard without Ags? Because I'm not saying it's bad, but you're just losing like half the effect, it feels like, you know?
I still think it's good here. Oh, boy. Nisha. If they would have chased, they could have killed him. They might think he just TP'd out, but he actually doesn't have his TP.
Yeah, they don't have vision of him right now.
I like the Shard. I think it's worth picking up, personally. Like you said, it is better with the Scepter, but how else would you spend 1,400 gold right now for the same value, right?
So it was Luna that took the Shard from Roche, I believe, right?
I do believe.
So Lucent Beam now can be used on the ground, essentially, and it gives off a couple Moonglaves, I believe, in addition to...
325 search radius and hits 2 targets within 500 range of the Lucent Beam and reduces mana cost by 50.
Which, with her build, the Moonglave's not that great, right?
She has Timeless Relic. She has Timeless Relic and Ag's Eclipse. She hurts.
And she's almost 25 as well.
Yep.
That'll be very nice. As Morphling again taking out a tower. They just can't deal with this hero.
Secret are actually really in trouble. Like, they're not just behind. This is a hard game because it's difficult for them to access the map since their catch is as limited as it is. And if they don't access the map, Gambit are going to end the game with the next Roche, most likely. All right, they're going to pressure. Oh,
Bramble to start. There's the E-Blade. Okay, not the greatest layering, but there's the Eclipse on top of him. He's still stuck. Already popped his ult. He's just getting bursted down. 95 seconds. No more Matu. No buyback. Another Rupture on Nisha. It seems to be reserved for him literally every single time. And this will likely be another Rax, if not GG. I mean, they're going to try to force out this buyback that will not come. And they have the building hitters. Unlike last game. Seeing a lot of more promise here from Gambit. As there's the jumper from Nisha. Takes up BKB. Another Rupture applied to him. Now he's going to get rooted on top, and the right click should be more than enough. He's going to have to buy back into the game immediately, but while this space is being created, the racks are being destroyed. And we've seen this story before. Man, there's way too much damage and way too much sustainability from Gambit.
Look at Laurenov's inventory. Like, how do you actually kill this guy? He has Manta, BKB, Satanic, and Minotaur.
Yeah,
he's like
he's
4 different dispels.
I mean, he has to make a mistake for you to kill him.
Nisha.
Yeah, Nisha, that is a... Oh, he actually gets out just barely. Oh, as the Bramble connects there, I believe that is the Curse Crown Shard, if I'm not mistaken. Is this going to be Mega Creeps at the very least? 30 seconds, no Matu still. Zai dead for 76.
And Laurenov disconnects. He's out. It's over. Are they going to pause or what?
I'm guessing GGs were called. I think
okay.
we might have the players muted or something like that.
Yeah, for some reason we don't see the I was like, that's a power move.
I think it's because of the voice lines, actually. I was wondering why we haven't heard any voice lines.
Oh, could
Usually people spam the crap out of that. But yeah, I mean, Laurenov on the Morphling, we thought Jenkins brought up the possibility of him going to Fuse. He didn't, but he ends up going a crazy build that works way better than I thought it would.
Have you ever seen an offensive leave in a pro game where you're like owning the opponent and you disconnect? Like you've seen offensive GGs.
Right. No, I think that's the next level.
That's the ultimate power move. You're taking the third laner, actually just disconnect.
I think now that we're getting close to TI-10, that's the next evolution of BM, right? Because we have to keep innovating as time goes on. You can't keep doing the same thing. Like we saw the question mark come up. Now it's got to be like a bracket. You got to put a character that doesn't actually make any sense, and then that's the next meme.
Right.
Like, don't you think open, close bracket just is beautiful?
Square root.
I don't know about that one. Anyway, this game was very entertaining to say the least. We got to see a crazy combo. Gambit looked good, man. Gambit looked real good.
Yeah, I'm super impressed. Like after that game.